Hi all, I wanted to review the new grading scale for skills. So let's look at the grading scale. This is a sheet that's actually from the new book, the literature that we're utilizing. It's Perry and Potter and one more author. Basically, this is a skill that says admitting patients, and so you have an S, you have a U, and an NP. You have an S that stands for satisfactory, a U that stands for unsatisfactory, and an NP is not present, and then you have a place to write down comments. If we move down, I have placed for you for your liking so you to see our different grading scales. So satisfactory is 5 points. So in each, so let's look at number 10. So it says obtaining nursing history as soon as possible, applied standards of nursing care adopted by the hospital. So there's no line for us to mark and grade this patient or the student on this part. But if you go down to A, it says assess the patient's perception of the illness and healthcare needs. So if this student during the skill checkoff does that, then they would get 5 points. If they do that, then it would be unsatisfactory, therefore they would get 0 points. And it says the student is not competent and did not perform the step or struggled with many components of the step. The other thing is the student must score 75% or greater in order to pass the skill without missing a critical step. If certain critical steps are unsatisfactory, the highest score that a student can receive is a 75%. However, it's an automatic require recheck. So the student can go through and receive a 75, but they still have to recheck if they do everything right and just, miss a couple of the steps that are not critical. Critical steps will be indicated by the nursing faculty. So as nursing faculty, you guys need to get together and look at your skills to assess according to the literature, as well as evidence-based practice, what is deemed to be critical, especially looking at patient safety. So looking at that differential essential competencies and what is deemed to be more of a critical step in that skill that student is doing. The other thing you want to look out for is, so I have an example written down here for you on how to do your scoring. So if a student scores will be summed and divided by the available steps, then multiply by 100 to get the grade out of 100 point scale. So it becomes out of a percentage of 100. So if so you would actually count the amount of blanks that's possible in the skill. So if the possible steps blanks would equal to 80 points, because the possible is of 5 points. Student was satisfactory on all critical steps, so that means that they got all critical steps correct. They're competent. They scored a 60 out of 80. That equals 0.75 times 100 would equal to 75 on that skill for that student. Therefore, they would pass that skill. Okay. So this is a small description on exactly how we are doing the new grading for our nursing skills. This is for nursing skills 1, nursing skills 2, as well as transition skills. I hope this helps you. I will be sending you this as an example in an email also. There are other things that we have discussed in reference to this skill and how to get proper paperwork. We're going to discuss with Susan, the librarian, on what we can do in order to have paper copies of their actual skills so we can put it in their file to show proof that they have passed or failed the skill. This is an example that you can give to your students. Satisfactory, unsatisfactory is students must score. And then if certain critical steps, you can also give them this example, and then you can make this into an attestation form, have them sign it, and then put this in their files. But also on their Canvas shell, have this documented on the Canvas shell where it is available for them at all times to see, so they get a better understanding of how they're graded.